Hey everybody, Kelly Engineering here, and welcome to episode 5 of Project Ozone 3. In between episodes, I didn't really do much. I went and got more ember crystals from the Nether, got some more netherrack from the Nether, and really I've just been sieving up dust because I need more redstone. And at this point, I have 3 stacks, which is amazing. I've also been, as I've been getting iron, I've just been throwing it in here. Oh yeah. So I got plenty of iron to go around. I also installed 2 new elevators, one at the very top and this one in between. I couldn't go right from here all the way to the top. I had to put one in the interim. So I'll probably do something with this platform, probably wrap it around, make it something cool. But I can get all the way to the top. Another thing that happened in between episodes is looking at the comments for episode 4, it was brought up that I'm using 3 drawer controllers here. And I can only assume reading that comment that this commenter, Raphael, thought that I wasn't using the trim blocks in between. I am. I was just making sure that the small storage crates ejected into the drawer controllers in order to make sure everything gets, if say a catalyzing gland goes into this storage crate, I wanted to make sure that it actually got to this area. It was brought up that I could have used a controller slave. When I was testing this, I actually put a controller slave in and it wasn't working. It probably had something to do with the transfer node. I probably had it on backwards. Whatever. So I'm using 3 drawer controllers here. I'm not going to switch it out to slaves because it's just a difference between using a piece of gold and using a piece of diamond. Where are the controllers? So yeah, the recipes are exactly the same. It's just using a diamond or a gold ingot. So I'm going to stick it with controllers. And that's all well and good. Another thing that was brought up is the fact that by using the key on a drawer controller, it locks all drawers connected to that controller. I already knew this fact beforehand, but it just slipped my mind. Whatever, things happen. It also slipped my mind that I could have just placed a mega torch in the first place last episode instead of crawling into it a second time and torching the place up. But once again, mistakes happen. It's no big deal. I'm not worried about it. Finally, the last thing that Raphael brought up is the fact that I could use redstone lamps to light this place up. And I did not have nearly enough redstone in order to make that happen. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add another story to this later on down the road and fill it with witch water so I can get witchy mobs. So putting the redstone lamps there last episode, even if I did have the redstone, wouldn't have made much sense since I'm going to expand it in the future. A mega torch does all the job that I need. Thank you, Raphael, for bringing all that stuff up. What I forgot to do at the end of last episode was spend some rack. I want to make it a normal thing. So I just bought an epic loot crate and a legendary loot chest. Let's see what I get. Power Stair 5 and a witherless rose. Nice. Oh, that's perfect actually. I'm really happy I got this witherless rose. One of the things I wanted to do this episode is go into the Nether and get some ore from there. And this witherless rose is definitely going to help me consider how many wither skeletons spawn in Nether X biomes. But I'm going to continue on with Embers with episode 5. And I want to show off this little feature. So if stuff can't go into your pressure refinery, such as this ember grit, you'll notice that I have steam leaking out. There we go. I have the steam leaking out from this pipe. All you have to do is use a stick, any normal stick, right click the pipe, and you'll get the stuff back. So, there they go. So it's as simple as that. If you ever notice any of your pipes steaming, it means that they're clogged, and you just have to use a stick to unclog them. So in the first part of this episode, I'm going to continue on with Embers by first making mechanical core, and then the mixer centrifuge. And then I also need to make the stamper. Stamp base, boom, and the stamper itself. Boom. I'm going to head over to the platform, set these up, and then I'm going to explain them to you. So I am back, and I have set up this. So I have the Cazador ring I showed off in the last episode, as well as the reservoir, which you can't actually read because it's the center block. And I also put one over here. The input-output for the reservoir is actually on the bottom of it, so you need to elevate it a little bit in order to put in a mechanical core. The mechanical core is here because I'm going to be inputting what I put in the melter, and I'll show off that in just a second. I need to output it over to my mixer centrifuge. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This entire setup is for the sole purpose of making Dawnstone. And Dawnstone... So Dawnstone is just, pardon me, mixing recipe of gold and copper. So I'm going to put gold in here. I'm going to put copper in here. I'm going to drop it in. And then once I have the gold and copper, I can put it out into my mixer centrifuge. It'll make me the Dawnstone, and I'm going to pump that out into a tank of some sort. Doesn't really matter. Or I can move it over to the stamper. The way that this works is all I have to do is put whatever ore chunks I want into the chest. And then after I pull this lever, it'll activate the dropper. It'll fall into the melter. And on the melter, the bottom part of this block is where ember is stored. The top is where fluid is stored. Once I have fluid in here, I just flip a lever and it'll eject out. Actually, another thing I noticed, hit F7. Right now, this apparently is a mob spawnable area, so I went and made these ember lanterns, which are stupid easy to create. But yeah, they're just a iron plate, an ember shard, an iron ingot. You get 4 of them. They look pretty classy too, but they don't have a connected texture. So it's just you place them and they're in the air. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this lever. I've already set up my copper cell to transmit ember over to the melter. And then I'm going to flip this dropper. And look how quickly all that copper. And you see the black smoke in there, which means it's melting up. Eventually, all of this copper will turn into a liquid. And I can flip it over here. Another thing about the reservoir is these fences can actually be stepped on. So you can look at the reservoir at any time you want as liquid gets put in. Now I'm looking at my fluid dial attached to the mechanical core, and you can see that molten copper is flowing in to the reservoir. And I forget at what point it starts showing here, but eventually the reservoir will start flowing, will start rendering the molten copper as well. Look at that. So I just hit the 5 bucket mark, and now you can see inside the Cazador ring, since the reservoir is now full, the copper started to render. Yep, just over 5 buckets. Since I used the dropper, I did not really get a chance to show the fact that all you have to do really is press Q and throw an item on top of the melter, and it will go into the melter inventory. I do not know whether or not, since the dropper is so fast and I dropped a full stack. That was kind of useless. Since I dropped a full stack into the melter, I don't know whether or not these are at the risk of despawning. I think they're inside an inventory and just rendering, so I think we're fine. If somebody has a concrete answer, because I can't find it in any reading I've done, just put it down in the comments and I'll pin it so that other people can know the answer to the question. I do not know if things are going to despawn when they're sitting in here. So you can see that I still have the melter going over there. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is a comment just came in recommending quantum tanks in place of those singularity tanks. I looked up the recipe and I'm so used to, I didn't even consider that. I'm so used to quantum storage units and quantum barrels being endgame stuff that I was not expecting it to be so cheap. So I made the buckets, I made, of course I have all of the obsidian, and I'm making some quantum tanks. Boom, baby. 6 of them. Oh, it's so cheap and I love it. The quantum storage units actually aren't bad either. They're just diamond storage crates. So, oh, never mind. You do need shulker boxes. We'll jump that hurdle when we get to it. I'm not really worried about it right now. In the meantime, what I am going to do is I'm going to transfer all of the XP from these singularity tanks into the quantum storage. Be happy with that. And I'm also going to do a little experimentation with the quantum tank to see whether or not I can siphon the copper that's in here into the tank. See if there's a little cross-mod compatibility. Oh my word. There's cross-mod compatibility with the quantum tanks. This is going to make things easier. Oh, that's wonderful. Hey, did I say in the other clip? No, I did not. Joby90, thank you very much for this. Thank you so much. This is going to make things a lot easier. Since I now know that the quantum tanks work, this can be a lot more simplified. I didn't even have to make the Camonite ring and the reservoir. I could just put the quantum tank right here and flow right in. You can make this super simple. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I say that, but you know what? I kind of like the look of these. And eventually, once I have the storage situation in the mob farm figured out, and I am swimming in archaic bricks, I'm going to change the entirety of this into archaic bricks. Make it fit the theme of the platform. The next thing we're going to go over is the stamper. I made the two parts earlier, the stamp base and the stamper itself. Has to be set up just like this. The base at the bottom, an air block in between, and then a stamper on top with an ember receptor. This machine does take ember in order to operate. Now the plate stamp I made in a couple episodes ago. Then this molten gold bucket. This is a blink and miss it type situation. Whoop! I still have copper in there. I made some copper plates earlier. One thing that does stink about this is you see up at the top I have molten copper, 136 out of 1500. Once the stamper can't make anything else, it'll just leave whatever liquid's in there. You have to break it, place it back down again before you can put another fluid in. Or you can just make multiple stampers. It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to do that, but alright, blink and you'll miss this. Oh, I did not put the stamp on. So, you'll see it's just going to continuously go until it runs out of ember or it runs out of ore. And the plates that I'm making are going everywhere. I did put a plate stamp at the top, but there's also bar, there's gear, there's all sorts. And now that I've made 6 gold plates, that's all she wrote. And that's how the stamper works. It's pretty simple. So I've made another ugly machine here. I have the mixer centrifuge right over here. The 2 quantum tanks with the copper and gold. And then back here, I have an empty quantum tank with an extractor coming out of the top. So the fluids that you want to mix go in the bottom. The fluid that it makes goes to the top. And you'll see I already have 8 buckets of Dawnstone made. So I'm going to hit this button, and the Dawnstone is going in. And I may as well just empty the tanks. I also should probably keep the ember going. This is an ember using machine. Make sure that it can be receiving the ember. Ah, this is beautiful. So I can finally complete the Dawnstone quest. I have the ingot stamp over here at my stamper. I'm going to put in this Dawnstone. There we go. 1 Dawnstone ingot. 2 Dawnstone ingots. Quest complete. Ah, that's awesome. I may put a barrel and a item collector over here just to keep it. Actually, Ember does have a vacuum block, doesn't it? I'll figure out how I want to handle this later on. But for now, I have 6 Dawnstone ingots, and I am very happy. I am done with Embers for now, because I think I'm probably, I don't know, 17 minutes into this episode, and I wanted to go to the Nether. So in I go. Alright, I appear to be safe for now, other than that wither skelly over there. The reason I want to go into the Nether is because if you look over there, Zoom in. There's ore everywhere, and I need that ore. So, I brought a bunch of cobblestone, brought my diamond wand, and I am building over. And hopefully I don't die. I've made it to the other end of the island, and oh, it's absolutely great. I'm going to keep mining here for the foreseeable future. I almost did die because some pigman, I don't know, same problem as last episode. Pigman was totally fine with me, and then out of nowhere decided he wasn't fine with me and started attacking me. So that was an adventure. Something I did notice on my travel over here is there was not a single ghast. No ghast sounds. Let's turn that off. No ghast sound. Yeah, no ghast at all. And I should probably do some research to figure out why ghasts are disabled. Nether coal ore. Because that is confusing to me. The mod Nether Ending Ores. Excuse me. The mod Nether Ending Ores is supposed to inject standard and modded ores into the Nether biome. However, Nether X isn't a standard hell biome. Luckily, if you look up in the top left, it says I am in the _ Nether. Where my Nether portal is in Abyssal Wastes. Yeah, it's an Abyssal Wastes, and so Nether Ending Ores doesn't spawn ore there. I have no choice but to go to this Nether area. I have no idea if that's true, but judging from the fact that I mined out quite a bit where my Embers bore was, and didn't find a single, Nether Ending ore. I am assuming, based on nothing else found, that that's how it's working right now. I'm just really glad that I happened to spawn next to a standard Nether biome. This was the main thing I was looking for. And of course my inventory is full. Now that I have... Oh, shoot, really? Oh. I thought that it was a oreberry bush, but that would be way too easy. Another lapis, booyah. What the hell is that? I want nothing to do with it. What the heck? What the? Yoink! What was that? I'm your friend, give me hugs? I'll be right back, I'm gonna look at some footage. Apparently, that was a frienderman. What the heck? Allows you to see your grave at a distance. Nice. Ghostly shape. That's weird looking. Apparently, that was a frienderman. And, it looked like while I was attacking the ghast, when the ghast hit me with a fireball and I got a little bit of knockback, it knocked me up just enough that I looked him in the eye. I died. My first death. Day 104. Mark the date. I'm gonna run back, grab my grave, and immediately get the heck out of here. I'm back. The second I got my grave back, a nitro creeper spawned right over there. I want no business with that. So, I'm gonna return home. But now I'm like all skittish. Ugh. Oh. That was the first ghast sound I have heard. And I just lost it. No, it's still there. Ugh. I am home, and that is not a good first serious excursion to the Nether. At all. My nerves are shot. I was not expecting that. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing me get absolutely wrecked and a little shaken up. But I think I'm going to end the episode here. Ooh, 2 new diamonds. in between episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get enough diamonds to upgrade all of these, because they're still iron meshes. Next episode, I'm going to get into the Armor Plus stuff, and which is the quest book Iota stuff. Yeah. So I'm going to get into the Iota stuff and maybe make another excursion into the Nether. I really need some of those ores. With that being said, looking at the comments from episode 4, some people had suggestions, or some people pointed out things that I've done wrong or things I did inefficiently. And to be honest with you, I love that. And I want it to continue. So if you did see something that I've done wrong, if you see something that I can improve on, or if you have any sort of suggestion on something that I can build, please suggest it. If I like the idea, or if you made a good point about something I messed up, I'll call you out in the episode. I'll give you a shout out and give you credit for finding my mistakes. If you don't want me to give you credit, just say so in the comment. Or I really should get a Discord, shouldn't I? Ugh. In any case, I'm Kelly Engineering, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.